I went to an institution that was predominantly white. In fact, in my graduating class, there were only about 4 or so African-American students. The gentleman wore a Confederate flag tie. And of course, it was noticed by everyone in the classroom, including the teacher.
Some people are saying it, right? But what I need you to I need you to believe it. I need you to internalize it. Try it again. I have. Now, say it with some power. Say it like you got to say, I have more power than fear.
Fam, what's going on, everybody? This is Jordan Green-Ellis, and welcome to another episode of the Student Success Series of Caps and Gowns TV, where we're providing inspiration and motivation in preparation for your next graduation. And today we're going to be talking about another brand new topic, and it's really important because it's about you. I know sometimes you feel like your teachers are being unfair, and truthfully, some of you may have legitimate reason, but I promise you, after today's video, you'll have all you need to succeed and unlock that door that's in front of you. So let's get into it right now. Key number 1 is simple. I need you to become an actor. That's right. I know you may not feel like it in your heart. I know you may feel like you want to go ahead and lash out and retaliate and respond, but I want you to be an actor. I want you to lead with humility. I want you to take a moment and gather yourself when you feel like your blood is about to boil over. Before you speak, ask yourself, is there an angle from this situation or this conversation or this circumstance that I'm missing? Is there something that I just don't understand? Literally ask yourself, because sometimes you may not understand where the teacher is coming from, and vice versa. They may not understand where you are coming from. Before you speak, I want you to ask yourself that question, okay? Here's another thing that I want you to lean in with. I want you to lean in with some grace. I mentioned it before, but I'll explain it again. Sometimes your teacher may not be seeing your perspective, and that's okay. They're human beings, just like you. But I promise you, if you come off to them harsh, if you come off to them rude, it's not going to end well for you. What you may be able to do instead is use an alternative means of communication. Perhaps you may want to write them a letter or send them an email off the record. You may not want to just jump out there in front of the entire class, because then from a teacher's perspective, it's now a classroom management issue. It'll likely rile everybody up, and then it's going to create so much more chaos that the teacher does not want to deal with. So I know you have to swallow your pride initially, but I promise you it won't always be like that, okay? It's going to get better. Use those keys and let me know how it goes. Let's go to key number 2. Key number 2 is another question. I want you to ask what responsibility I have in this particular situation. Did I provoke anything? Did I not follow any of the classroom rules and procedures? What did I do? What responsibility do I have to take? And if it's nothing, let it be nothing. Go back to key number 1. Lean in with humility and grace and use a different means of communication to get your point across, okay? Another question that I want you to ask is this: what can I learn? What can I gather from this situation? Because obviously, you two did not see eye to eye. They had a perspective and you had one too. I want you to try and see it from their perspective. I want you to see it with another pair of spectacles, okay? Listen, I know it's tough, but I promise you, it's developing those intangibles inside of you, and you will be able to use this throughout your entire life, because everybody doesn't look at the world through your lens, all right? Let's go to key number 3. Listen, we rocking and rolling today, but before we get into key number 3, do me a favor and hit that red subscribe button below, and hit the bell notification so you can be notified when we drop new episodes to Caps and Gowns TV. We're a growing channel, and we need your help. Feel free to share this link with your friends and followers so we can continue to grow and help all of the students across the country. All right, y'all, let's get into key number 3. Listen, key number 3 is going to be a really hard one, but I promise you, it's not impossible, and you can do it. If you feel like your blood is boiling and you feel like you want to retaliate and get back at the teacher, don't do it, okay? The reason why is because it's not a fair fight. Imagine this for a moment. A heavyweight champion of the world, boxer that is, fighting a lightweight champion of the world. Yes, they're both champions. Yes, they both have accomplished a certain level in their career. Yes, they both are professionally trained fighters, but that fight is not a fair fight. In theory, the heavyweight is always going to win. The lightweight may be able to put up a fight, but the heavyweight has more power behind their punch. Listen, you may be able to beat them. You may even be right. But in that moment, it's not where you want to fight that battle. What I need you to do is have someone who is responsible and who is in the same weight class to fight for you. It can be your parents and guardians, right? You can let them know so that they can go to bat for you. It is not your responsibility. It is theirs. Because if you jump out there trying to step in the heavyweight class, you're going to get knocked back down to the lightweight class. I know you don't like it, but I promise you, this is the most effective way for you to be able to resolve a conflict with your teacher. This is the most effective way. It's not the most liked way. I know you don't like it. That's cool. You don't have to like it, but I'm telling you, this is the only way that you can guarantee a result. If you feel like you don't have someone at home that can truly advocate for you, there are different resources in your school. You can talk to guidance. You can talk to another teacher you may have a closer relationship with. You may also contact an administrator in your grade or at your school. I don't know what it may be, but I'm telling you that this is the most effective way. I'll tell you a quick story about an experience I had in high school. I went to a school in which we had to wear shirt and ties every single day. And one day, one of my classmates wore a tie that was extremely offensive to me. I went to an institution that was predominantly white. In fact, in my graduating class, there were only about 4 or so African American students. The gentleman wore a Confederate flag tie. And of course, it was noticed by everyone in the classroom, including the teacher. I let it fester inside of me, which is not what I'm telling you to do. I do not advise that. Eventually, later on throughout the year, the conversation had come up again. But this time, it was with a teacher who I trusted. And what he said to me was this: "You should have told me that exact day. I would have made sure he took the tie off." And of course, he wasn't implying anything that wasn't conducive of a school learning environment. But what he was saying is that he would have rectified that situation and addressed the other teacher who did not say anything to the student. So this is why it's so much better for you to use someone who is in the same weight class to fight this battle for you. It is not your responsibility. If I would have reached out to my teacher that particular day, the problem would have been rectified. It would have never had to come up again. I wouldn't have been angry for months. It would not have been a problem anymore. But because I didn't, it festered and it grew larger. And I had more resentment in my heart towards the student and the other teacher who did not rectify anything. So I'm telling you, it's going to be more beneficial. It is going to be the most effective for you to allow someone who's in the same weight class to fight for you. All right, y'all, I hope you guys get it because we got to go today. But again, you know we coming back with another banger next week. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode of the Student Success Series of Caps and Gowns TV, where we're providing inspiration and motivation in preparation for your next graduation. I love you guys so much. Peace. I'll see you next week.